What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here on Wide Eye Sports of our Vikings podcast. We got Riley. We got Riley. Sorry, that's backwards. And Steve joining us. Brenner hosting as always. Resident Viking fan, as you can see in my background here. Yeah, Super Bowl week wasn't. Some Vikings fans took it harder than others.
Personally,
Yeah, they took it a little personally. I loved it. I absolutely loved seeing Sammy get to win the Super Bowl. And I'll just opening salvo, and you guys can rebuttal it if you'd like. But here's how I feel. At the end of last season, Kevin O'Connell misused Sam Darnold perfectly clearly. He treated Sam Darnold like he was Josh Allen and made him throw 40 times a game, throw the game on his back, and go win it all, right? That's not how the Seahawks used Sam Darnold. That is not at all. I said it on the show last week. I posted it on our Instagram and stuff. The way the Seahawks won that game, I thought would be to run the ball efficiently, play good defense, keep it grounded, control the clock, all that stuff. And that's what happened. That's what we saw. And they won the game. And at no point did they just go, you know what, Sammy, we need you to throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Go do it. Not what they were about. Not even a little bit. So the Seahawks defense and their ground game won that Super Bowl, right? You could put 20 other NFL quarterbacks in Sam Darnold's spot this season, and the Seahawks still win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Similar to how the Eagles won it last year with Jalen Hurts. And you can make the argument maybe only it's 15, and I'm totally fine with that.
20's high.
That's fine.
20's high.
I'm fine with that. But I feel very similar to Jalen Hurts and Sam Darnold, and for that reason, I do believe if the Vikings had better quarterback play, they would have made the playoffs. I think if J.J. McCarthy stays healthy, they make the playoffs because his quarterback play was better than what we were getting when he was hurt. So if wishes were fishes, the world would be an ocean. That doesn't really matter. My point is the Vikings weren't going to win the Super Bowl if you plop Sam Darnold in on the team. If we had faced them in the NFC Championship with J.J. McCarthy versus Sam Darnold and he came out and beat us, I would be salty. Full transparency. I'd be like, damn, we were this close and all we needed was that guy. Damn. But that's not how it worked out. He went to a better overall team, was used more efficiently in a different way, and got a Super Bowl out of it. I have no resentment towards him. I'm stoked for him. He deserves it. Nothing but good vibes from Sammy. Great guy, great individual. So if you ever are curious of if I'm salty that he won the Super Bowl, zero salt here. Love it for the guy.
That's Absolutely. What he says in the face of the public. Inside,
no, right, exactly. Behind closed doors, my guy's crying.
I mean, I'm crying because we didn't win the Super Bowl, but that's every year. That's literally every year. Literally every year I've ever existed, that happens. So that has nothing to do with Sam Darnold. Yeah, so I'm good with it. I'm good with Sammy. I'm good with him. I love him. Happy for the Hawks. Got lots of Hawks friends, lots of Hawks family. Happy for them. Glad they got to win it. Steve was with me on the Super Bowl. He can tell you just how hard I was cheering for the Hawks. There can be no debate.
The three exciting plays that happened. Brenner was running through the Airbnb.
Yes.
3 plays.
Yes. Literally. Let's go!
Yeah.
I was hyped. Financially and spiritually, I was hyped. But yeah, so with that, let's move on to more Viking specific topics. I do want to talk. There's a big rumor right now. Not really rumor. There's speculation that the Falcons are going to release Kirk Cousins. And have you guys seen that? He's expected to be released before the new league year in March. And I think that the odds of him becoming a Viking are about 75 to 80%. Because, well, hear me out. So the only thing that would disrupt that is Pittsburgh, in my opinion. I don't think there's anywhere else he would want to go other than follow Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski is in Atlanta where he's leaving. So that I don't see anywhere else other than Rodgers giving Pittsburgh the bird and him going to Pittsburgh to start. Otherwise, he's not going to go to New York. He would be insane to go to the Jets, right? And then Kevin O'Connell now has personnel decisions over the offense. Kevin O'Connell wants to bring in a veteran guy to compete with JJ, to help JJ, which is totally normal, totally fine with it. And I believe nobody suits that role better than Kirk, having sat behind Penix, having kind of learned that role to now come in and compete with McCarthy, knows the system really well, very close with O'Connell, was O'Connell's head coach, and going even farther back was O'Connell's quarterback coach with the Commanders. So I think there's about an 80% chance, if the money is right. Now, if Kirk comes out and goes, no, I want like $50 million to play quarterback, Vikings will tell him to kick rocks. But if the money is right, then I think there's almost nothing that's going to stop that from happening.
You don't think he would be interested in the Saints or Raiders jobs?
I don't think the Saints would do that, and the Raiders are going to take Mendoza #1 overall, so they're out. I don't think the Saints would do that. I think they want to get their young guys in there. I think the Saints have felt like they found their QB of the future, and just want to ride that out because they don't have any expectations of being really good next year. So let the quarterback get experience. Who cares? The Vikings still have a really good defense. You bring Brian Flores back. They have expectations they want to meet. And so I think part of that is helping JJ McCarthy mature and grow in the offense itself. And that involves having somebody in the building to push him, to make him better, right? I feel like that always helps. I was vocal about not loving that they didn't have a veteran presence in the locker room last season. McCown
that last week.
Yeah, McCown is kind of that veteran present right now, but he's also the quarterback coach, or not the quarterback, sorry, the OC. So like, he's your coordinator. He's not a guy who's sitting there going through the reps with you on the field. You know what I mean? It's just a different vibe. Sean Mannion, the new Eagles offensive coordinator, was that for Kirk Cousins for years. And so that always helped him. O'Connell's a big believer in that. Kwesi nixed that last season, and we see where that got Kwesi. Kwesi's now out the door. Speaking of Kwesi, it's really early on in this process, and they aren't even publicly looking for a GM yet, right? They're going to let the draft process play out before they start that hunt. I do have a couple of names that I think should be in the mix for that long term. One is Brzezinski, the guy who's heading up the process right now. He's been the Vikings capologist, if you want to call it that, the money guy, since 1999. And the Vikings have never been in cap salary hell. They've never had cap problems. He's done an amazing job. Love the guy. John McKay, which is the Rams assistant general manager. Obviously, Kevin O'Connell won the Super Bowl with the Rams, has a really good tenure with him, really good line of communication with McVay there. So that's a strong possibility. The other strong possibility as far as like ties are concerned is George Payton, the Broncos' current general manager. That could get nixed by the Broncos, obviously. But I've seen so much steam that they're going to make a push for him. And I don't know. I haven't looked into his contract. I don't know if it's because his contract's expiring. I don't know if because Broncos ownership is dissatisfied with him, which would be really crazy considering they were one game away from the Super Bowl. I don't know what all that's about, but he's a name I've been seeing a lot. Steve, I know you're not a big Broncos guy. I know you could come up with 1,000 reasons that they should get rid of him.
Well, no, I mean, you said that, and I was just thinking about how close they were this year, and that still didn't stop Sean Payton from firing half of his offensive staff. So
yeah, it wasn't the offense that was the problem.
No.
Well, hold on. It wasn't the offensive scheming and play calling that was the problem. The problem for the offense lies under center, in my opinion. I feel like they are capping their ceiling with their current quarterback. And you can love Bo Nix as much as you want. You can hate him as much as you want. I think what we experienced last season was the peak version of what Bo Nix can be in the NFL. I don't see, unless he comes out next year and just all of a sudden can just read NFL defenses in real time, can just dot up the field 35, 40 yards downfield, then I'm like, okay, well, I was completely wrong, and this dude's a full-blown franchise quarterback. And I'll say it if it happens. But right now, 80% of this dude's throws come on 10 yards or less. And that's not franchise quarterback material. That's stopgap material. That's a guy that you have. There's 25 other quarterbacks that can run the Broncos scheme the way from the quarterback position, the way Bo Nix does. But anyways, back to this. The last assistant general manager I have on the list that the Vikings should look at is Nolan Teasley, the Seahawks' current general manager. And that is because, one, they just won the Super Bowl, and two, their drafting has been insane. They have not missed. They are nailing their drafts, and that's been the Vikings' biggest issue. The Vikings they have 2 13-win seasons in the past 4 years with the worst drafting in the league, second worst technically, drafting in the NFL. So if you give Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores, this coaching staff some legitimate talent coming up through the draft and combine that with free agency, I mean, this team is going to be so good. So I would prioritize a general manager who can win through the draft, because you have coaching staff that can tell you what they need in free agency. You don't have to worry about that. They can do that part. You need to worry about a guy who can succeed through the draft. That is what I want. Other Vikings fans can feel differently. I don't know. Tell us what you think. But that is my pretty much nail on the head of what I would want out of a GM, is a guy who's just a draft guru, knows long-term scout guy, a Rick Spielman-esque guy. He was our former general manager. But
somebody willing to miss out on family time, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole different thing, man. I can't I mean, that's different for everybody. Like he wasn't a football guy, right? Like he's an analytics Wall Street guy. So like that's a very Wall Street move of, hey, my baby's born, I'm taking 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It didn't surprise me.
And there is place for that in the league, and I don't think anybody was hating on him for doing it.
It was during training camp. That's what bugged people, is that training camp is going on and you're not in the building for 2 weeks.
Right.
That's what bugged people. He was virtual, but he wasn't there. And I don't know. If it's me, I want those guys in the building as much as possible. Get your mom, get your mother-in-law, get your sister-in-law, get them all up here. Come stay with us. We'll pay for everything. Fuck your bills. We got you. Come stay with the fam. We need your help. Like, that's how I would have approached it. They're different. And I'm not dogging on them for that. They're just different. But I'm never going to talk smack on somebody's personal life like that.
No.
Like that's never what I'm going to do. So, I mean, if that's how he wants to approach it, more power to him. I do feel like it's a reason he ended up getting let go, was his lack of devotion to the role. And that rubbed people the wrong way, which sucks, but that's what the NFL is. There are dudes that sleep in their office for 200 nights a year, and they do it because they want to win. And so that's just what it is. Last thing I have is I want to talk that I said last week that the Vikings would probably let Aaron Jones go. After hearing him talk at Super Bowl Media Week, I don't even think that's possible now. Like the way he was talking about being a part of the team, it was so and we're gonna do this, and this is what's going on, and we got lots of football. Like it just doesn't feel like they're gonna let him go. And it just feels very weird to me that they're going to keep a 32, 33-year-old, injury-prone, aging running back for $10 million when they need cap space. Like, it feels weird. Like, that feels like an easy cut to me. Like, I love Aaron Jones. Great guy. Love that he defected from the Packers. Love everything about it. But, like, from a business perspective, it doesn't feel like they'll keep him. But from hearing him talk, I was like, oh, dude, this dude's a Viking for the next 5 years. So now that could all change. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see. Do you guys have any questions about the Vikes right now? Do you have anything you want to ask? I don't really have a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to get into. We're going to start talking draft next week. I'm going to do some draft stuff. Anything you guys want to add?
What do you think is the biggest hole on the Vikings right now?
Biggest hole on the Vikings right now? Well, there's two. One would be safety when Harrison Smith retires, because I think he's going to. And the other, and this is going to sound kind of weird because we have a lot of talent there, is defensive tackle. I am a big proponent of you do not win a Super Bowl without A-plus tier D tackle play. You just don't. Look at the guys who have won the Super Bowl recently. Chiefs, Chris Jones. Eagles, Jalen Carter. The Seahawks, Leonard Williams has been playing out of his mind this season. The Rams, Aaron Donald. I mean, you just don't win in today's NFL without getting pressure up the middle and stopping the run. Doesn't happen. And the Vikings don't have that guy. They just don't have that dude in the middle. And I would love for them to, however it needs to happen, attack the offseason with that in mind of getting that guy. But we have talent there. Jalen Redmond played absolutely elite level ball last season. And if he takes another step like he did last season, he will be that guy. But we don't currently know he's that guy. Other than that, it would be the DB room. Somewhere in the DB room, however you want to approach that. DB room, it could be safety. We have Byron Murphy. We have some good corners. It would be either slot corner or safety would be my number 1 and number 2 hole. But the way I want them attack the offseason, they need to get an absolute. I was so mad they didn't take Jalen Carter in that draft. I thought that was letting him fall to the Eagles then was insane to me for the rest of the NFL to allow to happen. That was crazy. I want a player like that on the team.
What would you be willing to trade for a Trent McDuffie type?
See, and tell me how you value him. I value Trent McDuffie as a number 1 corner, but not as a lockdown corner. I'm not sending him to Justin Jefferson and going, he's 3 catches for 40 yards today. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. That's 100% fair.
Okay.
Yeah, and that really showed this year. I feel like whenever we finished the end of 2024, when we finished into 2024, I was like, I don't know that there's many corners I would take over him outside of your Stingley, and maybe a guy or two.
Because of that, I wouldn't trade before the draft for him. But if the draft fell in a way where you felt you couldn't get a starting cornerback or a cornerback to develop, then he becomes like a back end of the second kind of guy. Like I would give a second if it came to that. Like if we get to the season and one of my starters goes down and I need a cornerback and I'm a team that has serious Super Bowl. If I'm the Denver Broncos and I don't even know who's the opposite corner over there in Denver. I don't even know who it is. I can't tell you off the top of my head, but he goes down and I'm like, oh, well, now we have a major problem. I'm trading a second for Trent McDuffie right now. Today,
3rd or 4th.
I'm probably only giving a late 3rd, early 4th.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because the draft has yet to happen. Everything gets higher price after the draft, right? So, or everything becomes more true value. Everything's devalued before the draft. I should say it that way.
Sure.
So just like Jordan Addison, I think you could get a 3rd round pick for Addison in training camp. You're going to be lucky to get a 5th for him right now. Nobody's going to pay for him right now with all his legal troubles and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just not going to happen. So, and he's a guy who's coming up on the end of his rookie deal. So next year you have to decide if you want his 5th year option. You got to pay him. Like 0% chance anybody's paying anything for him right now. Mm-mm. So, but after the draft, you're a team like the Eagles. You get rid of AJ Brown and now you have a hole to fill and it's training camp and you don't really have many receivers, or you're the Bills or something like that. A 3rd round pick all of a sudden becomes leverageable. So I don't know. Jordan Addison, I'll say this. The guys I want gone from the Vikings this offseason. There's only one guy I want off the team, period, end of story, unless he's going to come back for like a league minimum, and that's TJ Hawkinson. I was such a big TJ guy. Like I was.
You were.
Like
I was
was
a full 180.
Like I was such a he has burnt me so hard on this. He was so good. I was so stoked on him when we got him from the Lions. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe the Lions did this. They're idiots. What are you doing? You give up TJ Hawkinson and then draft Sam Laporta? Like you're an idiot. You're basically doing like you had that already. And after his ACL injury, I do not know what has happened because his like agility and route running is still okay. It's his hands. His hands disappeared from the face of the earth. Back of the milk carton. Don't know where they're at. Pardon me. I am baffled by this. I've never seen anything like this in the NFL other than conveniently Jordan Addison, who also hands disappeared this season. But that's just this year. TJ Hawkinson, since he got back from injury midway through the season before last, has been an absolute bust of a player. He's been taking up tens of millions of dollars in cap room and delivering jack to the team. Like, I can pull up here. Let's see. I don't even know. I know Pro Football Reference doesn't have drop stats, but so in 10 games last year, he had in 2024, sorry. Let's start in 23. When he got to the Vikings in 2023, in 11 games started, he had 960 yards. Almost 1,000 yards in 11 games. That's great with 5 touchdowns. The next year, after the ACL, he comes out midway through the year. He gets into the year about 6 games late and ends up with 9 games started and 455 yards. Just 45 yards a game. That's half of what he was averaging before. Then this year comes out, and in 15 games, he had less yards. He had 438 yards in 15 games. Like, I don't understand it.
The digression.
Dude, it's not a digression. It's a full regret. Like, full-blown backwards garbage. He had back-to-back 900-yard seasons with Minnesota and Detroit, and then all of a sudden, boom, when he came to Minnesota, midway through the season, 7 starts in Minnesota, 519 yards. Like, that's how many? That would be 51 yards per game. So that's not insane, but it's still good. And then he goes to 64 yards per game, and then he comes to 45 yards per game, and now 29 yards per game. I don't feel like that's something you come back from. I want him off the team. I don't know exactly. Let's see. I'm going to pull up the Spotrac TJ Hawkinson cap analysis real quick. So let's do Hawkinson. Search that up. TJ. So yeah, guess what he's due against the cap this year?
Too much.
Just take a guess. I want to guess. Somebody take a
15.
guess. Riley?
25.
21.3 with 23 due next season. And you save over half of that by cutting him this year. Like, it is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I don't understand what they're doing. Like, it makes me so mad. Long story short, he needs to be gone. Needs to be gone off the team. He's the only one. I'd be willing to give Jordan Addison another season. Addison had the drops all year, atrociously bad drops. I would be willing to give him one more season because he showed such flashes in his first 2 years. Like, he was a really, really good player in a high end. Like, him and Justin Jefferson were a top 10 wide receiver duo in his first 2 years, and I was okay with that. But with the drops, I want him gone. Other than that, I think I'm good with everybody coming back. I don't think there's, other than Ryan Kelly, but we've talked about him. He has the concussion problem. He's our starting center. Great when he's in. When he was in, he was a top 3 pass protecting center. Couldn't stay healthy. He had 3 concussions this year alone, and one of those ended his season. Like he had a concussion that he missed 2 weeks for, a concussion he missed 4 weeks for, and then the last concussion just ended his season outright. So, early
retirement.
Yeah. Well, he's not even early. He's like 32. So
that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, he needs to retire. I don't expect him back. We saved like $12 million by him retiring and cutting him. Like, no question. It didn't work for him. He tried to go. He was in Indy forever. He tried to get out of Indy, go somewhere else, get him a ring. Didn't work. So he should walk away. Other than that, I expect most of the starters to be back, minus Harrison Smith for obvious reasons. I think we'll extend Eric Wilson. Played awesome. The D line's going to stay the same unless Grenard gets traded or moved or something along those lines. Other than that, that's all I got. We'll start talking draft next week. Make sure to like and subscribe, tune in each week, and we will talk to you guys later. Peace.